Amos. Chapter 6. Woe to those who are at ease in Zion and to those who are secure in the mountain of Samaria, the distinguished among the chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel comes. Go over into Calneh, and see, and go from there to Hamath the great, then go down to Gath of the Philistines. Are they better than these kingdoms? Or is their territory greater than your territory? You who thrust away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to draw near. You who lie upon beds of ivory and sprawl out upon your couches and eat the lambs from the flock and the calves from the midst of the stall. You who prattle to the tune of the harp, who make for yourselves instruments of song like David. You who drink wine in sacrificial bowls and anoint yourselves with the finest oils, yet you are not grieved about the destruction of Joseph. Therefore they will now go into captivity with the first of the captives, and the cry of revelry from those who sprawled themselves out will pass away. The Lord Jehovah has sworn by himself, declares Jehovah the God of hosts, I abhor the pride of Jacob, and his palaces I hate, therefore I will deliver up the city and its fullness. And if 10 men remain in one house, they will die. When his kinsman, that is, he who should burn his body, takes him up to bring his bones from the house, and says to him who is in the innermost part of the house, Are there any more with you? And that one says, None, then he will say, Hush, for the name of Jehovah should not be mentioned. For it is Jehovah who commands, and he will strike the great house into fragments and the little house into pieces. Do horses run on rock? Or does one plow there with oxen? But you have turned justice into poison, and the fruit of righteousness into wormwood. You who rejoice in that which is nothing, you who say, Have we not taken by our own strength horns for ourselves? For I am about to raise up a nation over you, O house of Israel, declares Jehovah the God of hosts, and they will oppress you from the entrance of Hamath to the brook of the Arabah. Amos. Chapter 7. Thus the Lord Jehovah showed me, and there he was, forming locusts in the beginning of the springing up of the spring crop, and it was the spring crop after the king's mowings. And when their eating of the herbage of the land was complete, I said, O Lord Jehovah, forgive, I beseech you. How will Jacob stand, for he is small? Jehovah repented concerning this, it shall not be, says Jehovah. Thus the Lord Jehovah showed me, and there the Lord Jehovah was, calling to contend with them with fire, and it devoured the great deep, and it devoured the land. Then I said, O Lord Jehovah, stop, I beseech you. How will Jacob stand, for he is small? Jehovah repented concerning this also shall not be, says the Lord Jehovah. Thus he showed me, and there the Lord was, standing upon a perfectly plumbed wall, and in his hand was a plumb line. And Jehovah said to me, What do you see, Amos? And I said, A plumb line. And the Lord said, I am now setting a plumb line in the midst of my people Israel, I will not pass them by again any more. And the high places of Isaac will be desolated, and the sanctuaries of Israel will be made waste, and I will rise up against the house of Jeroboam with a sword. Then Amaziah the priest of Bethel sent word to Jeroboam the king of Israel, saying, Amos has conspired against you in the midst of the house of Israel, the land is not able to endure all his words. For thus says Amos, By the sword Jeroboam will die, and Israel will surely go into captivity out from its land. Then Amaziah said to Amos, Go, you seer, flee into the land of Judah, and eat bread there, and prophesy there. But in Bethel you shall not ever prophesy again, for it is the king's sanctuary and it is the royal residence. Then Amos answered and said to Amaziah, I am no prophet, nor am I the son of a prophet, rather I am a herdsman and a dresser of sycamores. And Jehovah took me from following the flock, and Jehovah said to me, Go, prophesy to my people Israel. And now hear the word of Jehovah, you say, You shall not prophesy against Israel, nor shall you speak against the house of Isaac. Therefore thus says Jehovah, Your wife will go about as a harlot in the city, and your sons and your daughters will fall by the sword, and your land will be divided by the line, and you yourself will die in a land that is unclean, and Israel will indeed go into captivity out from its land. Amos Chapter 8. Thus the Lord Jehovah showed me, and there was a basket of summer fruit. And he said, What do you see, Amos? And I said, A basket of summer fruit. Then Jehovah said to me, The end has come upon my people Israel, I will not pass them by again any more. And the songs of the temple will be wailings in that day, declares the Lord Jehovah. The corpses will be many, in every place they will cast them. Hush! Hear this, you who pant after the needy to destroy the wretched of the earth. Saying, When will the new moon be over, that we may sell grain? And the Sabbath, that we may lay open the wheat? In order to make the ephah small and the shekel large and to falsify the balances for deceit. That we may buy the poor for silver and the needy for a pair of sandals, and sell the refuse of the wheat. Jehovah has sworn by the excellency of Jacob, I shall by no means forget any of their deeds forever. Will the land not quake because of this, and will all who dwell in it not mourn? Indeed all of it will rise up like the river, and it will be driven and will sink like the river of Egypt. And in that day, declares the Lord Jehovah, I will cause the sun to go down at noon, and I will darken the land in the light of day. And I will turn your feasts into mourning and all your songs into lamentation, and I will bring up sackcloth upon all the loins and baldness upon every head, and I will make it like the mourning for an only child and the end of it like a bitter day. Indeed days are coming, declares the Lord Jehovah, when I will send a hunger into the land, not a hunger for bread nor a thirst for water, but for hearing the words of Jehovah. And they will totter from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east, they will rove about, seeking the word of Jehovah, but they will not find it. In that day the beautiful virgins and the young men will swoon because of thirst. They who swear by the trespass of Samaria and say, As your God lives, O Dan. And, as the way of Beersheba lives. Indeed they will fall and not rise up again. Amos Chapter 9. I saw the Lord standing upon the altar. And he said, Strike the capitals of the pillars that the thresholds may shake. And break them off upon the heads of them all, and the last of them I will slay with the sword, any one of them who flees will not flee away, and any one of them who escapes will not slip by. Though they dig into Sheol, from there my hand will take them, and though they go up into heaven, from there I will bring them down. And though they hide at the top of Carmel, from there I will seek them and take them. And though they hide themselves from my sight on the floor of the sea, there I will command the serpent, and it will bite them. And though they go into captivity before their enemies, there I will command the sword, and it will slay them, and I will set my eyes upon them for evil and not for good. For the Lord Jehovah of hosts is the one who touches the land and it melts, and all those who dwell in it mourn, and all of it rises like the river, and it sinks like the river of Egypt. He is the one who builds his upper stories in the heavens and has founded his vault over the earth. He is the one who calls for the water of the sea and pours it upon the surface of the earth. Jehovah is his name. Are you not like the children of the Cushites to me, O children of Israel? Declares Jehovah. Have I not brought up Israel out from the land of Egypt, and the Philistines out from Caphtor, and Aram out from Kir? Yes, the eyes of the Lord Jehovah are on the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, except that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, declares Jehovah. For I will command and shake the house of Israel among all the nations, as grain is shaken in the sieve, yet a kernel will not fall to the ground. All the sinners of my people will die by the sword, those who say, Evil will not overtake us nor come before us on all sides. In that day I will raise up the fallen tabernacle of David, and I will wall up its breaches and raise up its ruins and build it up as it was in the days of old. That they may possess the remnant of Edom and all the nations which are called by my name, declares Jehovah who does this. Indeed days are coming, declares Jehovah, when the plowman will overtake the reaper, and the grape treader, him who sows the seed, and the mountains will drip sweet wine, and all the hills will melt. And I will turn the captivity of my people Israel, and they will build the desolated cities and inhabit them, and they will plant vineyards and drink the wine from them, and make gardens and eat the fruit from them. And I will plant them upon their land, and they will not be plucked up again from their land, which I have given to them, says Jehovah your God.